Welcome to the Man on the Moon world, where we learn, explore, and inspire. Here at the Man on the Moon world, we'll talk about all things motorcycle and motorsports. If it has a motor and goes fast, I'll talk about it. Here joining me today is a friend of a friend of a friend and a friend of mine, Miss Ramonica Robinson, aka Speedy. Thanks for joining us here on the Man on the Moon.
Thank you for having me.
So, I understand that you have a nickname. We're gonna just go get right started. You have a nickname and you're called Speedy. So, funny story, the other day when I was thinking about interviewing some female riders, your name came up. And my buddy said, why don't you interview Speedy? I was like, who the hell is Speedy? He said, oh, Monica. I was like, oh, I didn't know that was her nickname. So, as with most nicknames, they're either the opposite of you or you did something else. So you're called Speedy. Tell us about your nickname.
So the name itself is not opposite of me, but I got it from an opposite incident.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say that first. So when I was stationed at Fort Jackson, there were several guys that I used to ride with, and we used to do a lot of events on post with the safety office.
Thanks for your service, by the way.
Thank you. So at this particular time, if someone saw you off post, whether you were in uniform, out of uniform, whatever the case may be, if you were doing something dangerous, unsafe, or, they could report you to the safety office on post.
Okay.
And then that in turn would go up to the installation command, like the post sergeant major and the post commander. So somebody was hating on me.
Hating on you?
They was hating on me.
Oh, man.
And they
ladies.
reported me to the safety office. They said that I was going up the interstate going 90 to 100 miles per hour.
Hold on. You weren't even on post.
Correct.
You were off duty.
Correct.
And somebody called in and said that you were speeding.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure I had that right.
Yes. So they said that I was speeding going 90 to 100 miles per hour, weaving in and out of traffic going up the interstate. So this is a rider thing, Man on the Moon. Anybody knows that if you're going 90 to 100 miles per hour on a sport bike, weaving in and out of traffic, there's no way in hell you can get my plate.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So I already knew what was up. So anyway, it was right before a 4-day weekend. The post sergeant major called me and some of the guys in and was like, hey, what's going on? Y'all are supposed to be the safety standard of the installation and you're out here doing this. And I'm like, no, wasn't me. Long story short, when we sat down in our little huddle with the guys, that's when they named me. And that was back in,
We don't want to go back too far.
I
That was a
know.
while ago.
that was a long time ago.
So how long were you in the military?
20 years.
20 years.
I've
So
been retired 10.
you retired?
Yeah.
You're too young to be retired. Stop playing. Actually retired from the military. Well, good for you. Again, thank you for your service, and we appreciate all that you have done for this wonderful country. So let's talk about your motorcycle biography.
Yeah.
When did you start riding?
So illegally, probably right out of high school.
Okay.
Legally, it's almost around the same time, in the 90s, early 90s.
What was your first motorcycle?
Oh my gosh. I was a Yamaha girl.
Okay. I'm a Yamaha guy, so I cut my teeth on Yamahas.
Yeah, I started off with a Yamaha. It was like a 350 or something like that. It was something small.
Okay.
And bring that back up later when we give
When we circle back around?
when we give advice about stuff.
Okay.
Then I went to a Yamaha 600R YZF.
Okay.
European spec.
Okay. Is that because you were stationed overseas?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was beautiful on the Autobahn.
So you took your sport bike on the Autobahn where there is no speed limit?
Oh, yes.
All right. That does bring back memories, doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
Talking about your knees being in the breeze, huh?
Yes. Then I had and I kept that forever. Then I had a Yamaha, oh my gosh, I can't even remember.
You notice she's never said what year these bikes are. We're gonna leave that alone.
Oh yeah. Ooh, wow. I can't remember the one after that. And then I had a Yamaha V-Star.
Okay.
And then after the B-Star, I crossed over to the Harley world.
Crossed over into the Harley world. So your motorcycle biography goes way back. Who was your inspiration to riding motorcycles? Was there anyone else in your family who rode?
There were distant relatives that rode. The funny part about that, what inspired me was the first time I rode on the back of a bike with someone. And you know how you guys are sometimes when you're trying to show out a little bit, and I wasn't impressed. So I started riding my own. I figured if something's gonna happen to me, I'm gonna do it myself.
That's right. That's right. Okay. So you were inspired because you didn't like the ride that you got, so you made your own ride. That's good.
Exactly.
So you had that independent spirit for a while.
Yes.
All right. Well, talk to me about your first Harley Davidson, and when did you get that?
Oh, I got it in 2012.
Okay.
2 years ago.
What kind of bike was it?
Road Glide.
You had a road glide.
Yeah.
Did you really?
I did.
You stepped all the way up to the top.
All the way to the top.
Now Speedy over here is probably about 5'4".
3.
5'3". So 5'3" in a road glide. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
And it was a heavy one. It was a 2007. They were heavier than the newer ones.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the one that I have now.
So after you got your first big bike, I'm sure you were the talk of the town when you bought that dog with Harley Davidson. So how were you received after you bought that Harley Davidson?
Because I had already been riding for a long time, it wasn't a hard transition.
Okay.
So, and most of the people that I dealt with anyway knew that I could ride.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a big deal.
You had motorcycle credibility back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is why I'm actually talking to her on this platform. She's been riding a motorcycle for a long time, and she can offer some insight and hopefully some inspiration to the other women who either ride or want to ride motorcycles. So again, thanks for joining us. Man on the Moon World, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Man on the Moon World with our special guest, Miss Ramonica Robinson, aka Speedy. And before we left, we were talking about some of those amazing trips that you've taken. This woman has ridden all over the United States, but I'd like to circle back around and ask you a few questions that I wanted to ask you initially.
Okay.
Where are you from?
Nashville, Tennessee.
You from Nashville?
Yes, Cashville.
Cashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
I love Nashville. I've been there a few times. It's a great city. So what in the world are you doing in Georgia then?
I retired here.
Oh, that's right. You're a retired military veteran, correct?
Yes.
You decided to retire here.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm
Now,
kind of centrally located. My son is in North Carolina. I actually have a sister in Alpharetta, and then my dad's side of the family is in Tennessee. So.
Okay. Yeah, you are centrally located. So, and you've been in Atlanta for how long?
10 years now.
10 years since you retired from the military. Okay, you like it here?
I do.
Yeah, I like it. You know what? I've been in Atlanta for 5 years, and I didn't like Atlanta initially because of the culture was kind of it's like, I'll give you a quick story. I was at a gas station and I was getting gas. While I was in line getting gas, the guy pulled up in an S550. That's like the flagship Mercedes, that big rascal.
Yeah.
Dude walks into the gas station and he said, "Give me $3.75 gas." So I'm thinking, just me, you got that big old car and you can only put $4 worth of gas in there. What's wrong with this picture? But that to me is a microcosm of how me personally I felt about Atlanta. I don't know about you, but that's just me. So
But see, you don't know what the situation was.
he might have just tried to get home.
He might have just been trying to get to Sam's.
I don't know.
To his favorite gas station.
But I was at Kroger getting gas, so you know gas is cheap at Kroger.
Yeah.
So, but that's just me and my quirkiness, and I was just looking at that from out of a different lens. But as far as Atlanta, for me, I love it now. It's a beautiful city. My daughter just moved here, I got grandkids here, my sister lives here, my brother lives here, my whole damn family migrated here. So,
And they have awesome food here.
you know what?
I'm a foodie.
I have been here for a minute, and what is Atlanta known for?
Peaches.
No, because more peaches are grown and consumed in South Carolina than Georgia.
You know what you know what the actual #1 fruit is here?
What is the #1 fruit?
Blueberries.
Really?
Not peaches.
So this is not the peach steak. This is actually the blueberry steak.
Yeah.
All right, we've gone down a rabbit hole. We shouldn't have went down. All right, let's come back up here. Miss Ramonica Robinson, aka Speedy, the motorcycle rider. Now that we know that you're from Atlanta, what are some of your favorite?
Nashville.
Nashville. Oh, my bad. What are some of your favorite riding spots around here in Georgia? Do you get out and hang out in these spots here? When you get on your motorcycle, it's always out of town.
No, I always get on my motorcycle. I mean, I ride it to work
Okay.
when I work. I don't want to hear no side jokes out of that.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna let that one go too.
Yeah. I ride it everywhere. I can ride it to the grocery store and fill up the bike. And
People do look at you funny when you pull up to the grocery store on your motorcycle. Yeah, when you start putting that stuff in the tool
funny
pack.
story.
Oh, I love funny stories.
So I'm a Wally World girl. Pulled up at Wally World.
What's Wally World?
Walmart.
Oh, okay. I didn't. Yeah.
Pulled up at Wally World, went grocery shopping. I noticed when I came out, there was a smaller bike parked next to me. Not knocking anybody that rides a smaller bike. It's just specific for this story.
Okay.
So I'm loading the groceries up, because I did make groceries. Loading them up on the bike, and this man, kind of my size, comes out, and it was his bike next to mine. And he says, "Oh, I love seeing a little woman on a big bike." So I felt insulted. So you know what my response was.
I'm imagining.
"I love seeing a little man on a little bike."
You didn't tell him that, did you?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, so he made his day. And he probably said, "I shouldn't have said what I said."
He
Okay.
should not have, but you know, it is what it is.
Now, you do ride a big motorcycle, so do you get a lot of feedback, flack, compliments, what have you, because of your stature and that big bike? Notice I said stature.
Compliments, yes. A lot of people, a lot of guys actually say I ride like a guy.
Like a dude.
Right. They have select words in place of dude or guy, but I was taught by guys, so I don't know if there's a difference of riding how a female rides or how a guy rides. I mean, a rider is a rider. However you ride your bike is how you ride your bike.
That's right.
But one thing I will say is, in reference to females that are starting out or not even yet riding, want to ride, whatever the case may be, get what you want. Don't let somebody talk you into getting something small because you're small, short, whatever the case may be. Get whatever it is that you want to get, because you get accustomed to what you have. The bike doesn't get accustomed to you. You get accustomed to the bike.
Can I interrupt you right there?
Yes.
And I sell motorcycles. I work at a Harley Davidson dealership, and ladies come in all the time to buy motorcycles, and they typically will bring someone with them, another guy who rides a motorcycle. Now, the lady that comes in is 5'5", probably weighs 160 pounds, and she fits really well on, let's say, a Dyna or some kind of Softail, a great entry-level bike that you can ride, learn how to ride, and enjoy. But no, the guy says, "Nah, she don't want that. She wants street glide." Well, this woman's never ridden a motorcycle before. She doesn't know first gear from fifth gear, but you want her to get the biggest bike that she can. And what I tell all my customers that come in is, what you don't want to do is spend $25,000 for a motorcycle and be intimidated by it. Because you got to make that payment at the end of the month. And if you're not enjoying riding this motorcycle, you're just wasting your money. Get something that you are comfortable on, that you can handle, ride it for a season, bring it back in and get you another one. But yeah, most guys always, well, get that road glide. Are you going to help this lady pay for that road glide? 9 times out of 10, no is the answer. So ladies, continue. Get what you want to ride. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a tangent like that.
That was the sales guy in him. That was the sales guy. I firmly believe in getting what you want, whether it's small, whether it's big. If it's a big bike, I do agree with, if you want a big bike, even if you've never ridden.
Get a big bike if that's what you want.
Because you can take the class, but I tell anyone, male or female, you get accustomed to the bike that you have.
Good words of wisdom. Yeah, good. Because it pisses me off when ladies come in with no knowledge of a motorcycle and some guy's going to steer them to the biggest thing in there. And really, price has nothing to do with it.
Right. Or the smallest thing. Because it's interesting that you even say that, because a lot of times I hear the opposite. They want them to start off with something small and then work their, selves up to a bigger bike, which if they get something small, they'll be done with it in 6 months. 6 months of riding. Because it's too small and they're ready to go.
Well, most dealerships offers programs where they'll take your bike back in on trade and give you what you got for it too. But it all depends on the individual, and every situation is different. So, all right, moving right along. What words of, well, you already gave them some words of encouragement. What can you tell women riders out there? You said women riders, female riders, lady riders.
Yeah.
What, is it female riders?
Female.
Okay, not women riders. Because, that's right, I don't even know what I'm at. I'm going to leave that alone. So, women riders, is that right? Female riders. See, I gotta get my lips right to say it. Female riders out there should. How would you inspire or motivate someone who has just gotten a motorcycle and is a bit intimidated by it? What would you tell them? Give them some words of encouragement.
Don't sit there and look at it. You have to get on it.
That's it. Ride your ride.
Because a lot of people, they'll get a bike, they're scared to get out there by themselves, and they just sit there and let the bike sit until somebody calls them, hey, you want to go ride? And I can I can go ride with you, or whatever the case may be. You have to get on your bike, whether you're by yourself or whether you're with somebody else.
In a situation like that, if that person, is it good for them to join a female motorcycle club? Did I say that right?
You said that right.
Okay. Even though that's not you, would
I was
you
about to say,
recommend
I digress in answering that.
That's not you. But I mean, some people.
Because it's not me. And it depends on the person. Like you said before, some people have to belong to. Everybody does not have to belong to. Or a lot of people join because they are with like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that are introverts that don't want to be in that type of setting. It goes both ways. That's up to the individual.
Okay.
I digress in answering, yes, join a club, or no, don't join a club, because.
So your circle is so small in your motorcycle group.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give a shout out to your homies out there who ride with you. Go
Hey,
ahead.
BBS, that's Beautiful Black Sisters.
That's all of them? Or just the ones you ride with?
The ones I ride with.
Okay, BBS.
But all women, women of color, women, all of you. Sherry, Vicky, Thea, Sasha, Buffy, and Tracy.
Wow. That circle ain't so small, really.
That's it.
That's it? All right. Well, you know what? Shout out to all y'all. Continue doing what y'all doing. Monica Robinson here, a.k.a. Speedy, with me, the man on the moon. And I greatly appreciate you taking this time to come in and give me a perspective that I really haven't had. Last question before you go.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a motorcycle rider and a biker?
A rider to me is fair weather or trailer. Unless you got about 5 bikes you take into a show or something like that.
Okay.
A biker will ride in anything, can go anywhere without all the lip and all that kind of stuff.
It's funny you say that because I consider myself a biker and I've ridden quite a few places on my motorcycle. But I'm to the point right now where I'm about to invest in a nice pickup truck and a trailer. Because I've been there, done that, and got a lot of t-shirts, and I want to take more than one bike on the trips that I take. So will I still be considered a biker? Or am I going to be just a motorcycle rider?
Because you have been there and done that, you're a biker.
I'm a biker?
Yeah.
Through and through?
Through and through.
I got all the t-shirts to prove it too.
Yeah.
Monica Robinson, here on the Man on the Moon World. Thank you very much for coming by. I greatly appreciate it.
I'm honored. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, and we're going to get Tracy in here.
Yeah, Tracy, you're next. Welcome back to the Man on the Moon World with our special guest, Miss Monica Robinson. Again, thanks for stopping by, hanging out with us. So let's talk about the motorcycle set. And personally, to me, the motorcycle set is a place where motorcycle riders congregate, meet up, and fellowship. In my opinion, the motorcycle set could be a gas station, could be a bike night, could be some clubs, some motorcycle clubs anniversary, but the motorcycle set is wherever those motorcycles gather. I don't think a motorcycle set has a occupation boundary, religion, sex, or affiliation. But that's me. What do you talk? Tell me about the motorcycle set in your opinion.
The motorcycle set as in Atlanta or just period?
Yeah, a whole. We can go Atlanta as a whole, nationwide.
Well, so as far as me, first of all, I'm an independent writer.
Your perspective is definitely what we want.
I do not do the club specifically because I like riding. I love riding. I ride everywhere. And most of the time I do it by myself or with one or two other people.
Okay.
I don't do a lot of group rides because a lot of females don't ride like me.
Mm-hmm.
I've encountered probably about 3 or 4 in the Atlanta area. Not to say that they're not more. I just don't know them, haven't hung out with them.
You're super small.
Right.
Okay.
Very small. Shout out to Tracy. Hey.
Hey, Tracy.
But for me, as far as the Atlanta bike set, it's to each his own.
Okay.
I don't want to badmouth anybody, any clubs or anything like that. It's just not for me.
Yeah, the club set is just not for you. A lot of people, and with clubs, you have to conform to rules and let's do this and meet up here.
I was in the military for 20 years. I did enough rules. I did enough organization. I did enough control, all that stuff. I
make up my bed with resentment every day because I was in the military too. But I still do it. But I cuss that bed every morning. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. The motorcycle set is not for some people. Some people need to be a part of a group, or some people need to follow. Some people want to lead, but that's just the motorcycle set. It's just not for you.
Correct.
So tell me about some of the rides that you've taken.
Oh my gosh. So it's no longer in existence, but I used to do Rolling Thunder up in DC every year.
What's that?
It is actually a demonstration ride for all the POWs, MIAs, KIAs. No less than 250,000 bikes up there.
Wow.
They would stage us at the Pentagon parking lots, both parking lots. And usually the staging started about 5 or 6 a.m. The first bike wouldn't leave out until, and I might be getting my times crossed, but they probably could start off maybe about 9 or 10 a.m. With as many bikes as they would end up riding from the parking lots, the Pentagon parking lots, through the wall area.
Okay.
The mall area. And they would have like, peaceful demonstrations down there. Some people will go visit the walls and see if they could,
See, when you said demonstrations, I was thinking about like motorcycle demonstrations, going around cones and stuff like that.
No. But it's for the veterans.
Okay. Being a veteran, I can see how that I would make that ride. But now let's go back to the beginning. You would ride to DC by yourself?
Yes.
How long is that ride?
For me?
Yeah, for you. Maybe that's why they call you Speedy.
Well, it depends on where I would go. So if I stayed in Virginia at my sister's or one of my best friends, probably about 10 and a half, 11 hours, if that.
So you'd start out from Atlanta and then go up to the Virginia area, stay with a friend, and get up the next day and complete the ride?
Yes.
Okay. You and your lonesome.
Yes.
You and your motorcycle, starting out at the crack of dawn.
Every year.
So what's that like, your motorcycle, and the environments out there? Is that the most peaceful time that you have?
It's beautiful. It's like therapy. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. Just being out in the open, on your ride, doing your own ride, not having to worry about if you stop, you ready to go, having to wait on people.
Yeah, people want to smoke,
right,
and they want to call home,
right.
Somebody want to drink.
A leg from Popeyes.
Yep, exactly. That's right. And it's a long line at Popeyes, and
right.
Like a 5-hour trip can turn into a 9-hour trip.
Exactly.
Yeah, real quick.
So my little 9.5, 10.5 hour trip would stay exactly that because I would stop, gas up, use the restroom, and keep it moving.
Keep it moving. So where else have you ridden to? Some distance rides.
Tracy and I again rode.
We need to get Tracy in here too.
We do.
Tracy, this is your invitation to the Man on the Moon world. If you've got a story to tell, we want to hear
She
it.
has several. Tracy and I actually rode to LA.
Los Angeles?
Yes.
California? Not Louisiana?
Not Louisiana. I didn't know they had a Los Angeles, Louisiana.
No, LA.
Yes, we rode to LA, but we made a little trip out of it. It took us 2.5 days, but
Hold on.
what?
You made a trip out of it and it took you 2 days to get to LA? I rode to LA before and it took me 5 days.
Oh.
But I stopped at every nook and cranny along the way.
Well, we did too. We stopped at every Harley that was open.
Did you really?
And we actually went up to the Grand Canyon.
So you guys actually averaged about 700 miles a day?
We didn't really ride for the miles or the time. We just rode.
Y'all was getting it in. Okay.
We always did.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry I didn't interrupt. Continue, please. LA.
We started off here, and when I tell you that was the most beautiful ride, even though we went through every type of weather you could possibly think of.
Yeah, depending on the time of the year that you travel.
It was June. Rainstorm, sandstorm, hailstorm.
Really?
Yes. It was June 2018, and we did not know at the time until my aunt kept texting me that we were in a heat wave. It was 124 degrees when we went across the Mojave Desert.
Ooh, nice.
I had a big, cute little blister on my lip to show for it. Oh my gosh. And then the weather dropped like maybe 40 to 50 degrees, like within 3 seconds.
Going to the mountains?
No, coming back, going through Oklahoma.
Oh, really?
Which is where we hit the hailstorm, and then it went from the 80s to the 30s.
Bad to worse.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was interesting, but we had so much fun.
Not only have you been riding your motorcycle a long time, you have taken these bikes distances.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the Bessie Springfield ride is something that a lot of ladies are doing here. Have you made that ride?
I did the Iron Butt.
No, what's an iron butt ride?
You have to do 1,000 miles in less than 24 hours.
Whoa. You rode your motorcycle 1,000 miles in 24 hours.
No, in 16.
In 16 hours. Let me see, carry the one. Man, that's a lot of riding. Tell us about that.
Erica and I. Denied.
Erica, shout out to Erica. What's happening?
Yes. So we started here, maybe 4 something in the morning. I don't remember. I just remember it was Old Dark 30.
Old Dark 30.
And
it's a military reference, people.
Right. And they give you a map of the route that you have to take.
So there's a designated route that you...
Yes, because if you go, it was to Wisconsin, so if you just go straight from here to Wisconsin, it's less than 1,000.
Okay.
So it was a path that we had to take. And there were gas stops that we had to take to get the receipts to show that we actually went the path that we were supposed to go.
Quickly, what season was that? Spring, fall, winter?
Let me tell you something. I did so many rides, I honestly do not remember.
Okay, that's fine.
The time of year.
Wisconsin's cold. I've been there a few times.
Yes, it was. So
in the summertime, it's cold.
On the way, we went through 3 horrible rainstorms, and I could have swore a tornado was somewhere in one of them storms. The wind was blowing so hard, we were kind of riding sideways. So I thought it was going to be a good idea to get behind a big rig.
Oh, Lord.
Because they break the wind.
Okay.
Until I saw it kind of tail spin in front of me. I was like, oh yeah, no, this isn't
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea. I guess the trailer was empty. I don't know. It had to be. But again, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
So this Iron Butt ride is 1,000 miles in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
What do you get for that?
A patch.
All that ride, all you get is the damn patch?
The enjoyment, the love of the ride is what you get.
You throw sick
And the
as well.
camaraderie.
But 1,000 miles in less than 24
And
hours?
on top of that, when we went through the Illinois, Missouri.
In a little tri-state area.
Right. So there's a bridge that you have to go across, but they had construction at the time.
Okay.
And so nobody could get a picture with the Illinois sign, except for us.
Why? Because you guys were breaking rules or something?
No, we just pulled over.
Okay, you pulled
Well,
over and
we
took
knew,
the picture.
You know, in the construction part, but you know.
So let's see, you've been on your motorcycle to LA. You've been Milwaukee, which is extreme north. You've done DC, which is extreme east. I know you've been to mile marker 1.
Oh yes, Tracy.
Like it's nothing to go to mile marker 1.
Tracy,
Mile marker 1, how was that?
hot as hell.
Yeah, Miami is no joke.
It was hot as hell. I got sunburn on my nose and on my cheeks. But it was a good ride.
It was a good ride?
It was a good ride until we got on 1. And we couldn't pass anybody. And it was 45
miles an hour, that's right.
And it was hot. And then we started coming to, I want to assume that they were, what are the little weed houses called?
Dispensaries?
Yeah, dispensaries. Because about every 5 miles, we smelt it in the air.
Is that right? Okay. Right. I don't think it's legal in Florida. But,
I don't either, but
they were putting it in the air, sounds like.
Smoke signals every 5 miles.
Wow. It might have been the car in front of you.
No.
So you have been damn near on a 48-state tour, just going to without going to all 48. Yeah. Now, have you been up to the Great Northwest? Seattle, Oregon, up that way?
I've been to Washington State.
Really? On your motorcycle?
Yes. I was in the military.
Oh, that's right. This woman has ridden everywhere. You are truly a motorcycle. You're a biker. You're not even a motorcycle rider. You are truly a biker. So, wow. Any other interesting trips you want to tell us about? Now, any all-girl rides that you've been on that you had fun doing? Because lately there have been a lot of all-women rides. So, have you done any of those?
Only with my girls.
Okay. But which all-women rides did you make? Because there are quite a few of them out there now.
No. So I don't do all women rides that are like, publicized for women or whatever.
Okay.
There's a select few of women that I do ride with or will ride with.
Okay.
And, we've taken little trips here and there.
All right. Was it?
Nothing major.
Nothing major? You mean like go to Vegas and win $100,000, nothing like that?
No.
Okay. All right. So any place that you enjoyed the most or any places that you enjoyed the least where you would say, I'll never take my motorcycle there again, or man, that was great, I'll do it again?
So, I would say as far as the states that we had misconceptions about was Louisiana.
Okay, what was the misconception there?
At the particular time, it was just a lot of stuff in the world going on, and the climate was just bad.
Social climate.
The social climate was just bad.
Okay.
And actually, when Tracy and I were coming back from Shreveport.
I love Shreveport. They got the best booty in the world, but I'm sorry.
She did stop and get some of that too. We were coming through Louisiana, and we stopped so she can get her boudin out of the grocery store. And there's a place that we stopped to go eat all the time. But we were so well received by everyone. It was just, considering the climate at the time, it literally had us in tears.
2 black women on a motorcycle coming through. Just stopping, yeah, I get it.
And the areas that we stopped in didn't have a lot of people that looked like us.
Okay.
Which made it even more, I guess, heartfelt,
In this social climate that we're in right now, it's good to hear stories like that, man. We need more of that in the world.
As a matter of fact, so when we were going to the grocery store, I have a disabled veteran handicap tag on my bike. Okay, so whenever I park in the handicap. So usually Tracy will park with me. So we were parking the bikes and we saw a stereotypical look of a person staring at us. Coveralls, the hat, all that stuff. But he was staring at us. And
Bubba.
We thought Bubba was looking at us because we were parked in the handicap. So, there was a little, tense wording, going on or whatever. He was actually going into the store that we were going into too. So while we were over there looking for Tracy's boudin, because I don't eat it, the man approached us and said, I did not mean to offend you all in any kind of way. I was just admiring your bikes.
Oh,
I know. It was an odd moment.
we got Bubba all wrong.
Yeah, we did. We had Bubba all wrong, and and we actually explained to him, while we were.
I'm from Atlanta. We're in Louisiana. What you expect?
So, you know, it was an all moment. So we've been on a lot of interesting trips.
Wow, amazing stories from Monica Robinson here on The Man on the Move.